beauty. Straight beauty.
All right. We're not going to do what I said we'll do before, but we all cut this lime.
Lime up.
How long you been growing this for?
That particular one?
This exact one. Nah, you're like your bush, or is that your lime bush? Is that what
How long have you been going to your bush for, mate? That particular bush was here when we moved into the house.
Oh.
That particular bush.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the rent pays for that?
I guess so.
Yeah,
but they didn't tell us that.
You know the topic, baby. Let's go. It's your boy Prince Hunky. It's the podcast, baby. From the airways to stereo. Yes, now you know that it's the Prince Hunky podcast, baby.
All right.
Good to go.
I guess we'll find how long we've been planning to try and do this, me and you, because you were meant to be my first guest, and I'm like 3 episodes in already.
I don't know what happened. I think you moved too far away from me.
Yeah. We live on like opposite ends of, like I'm South Brisbane, you're South Gold Coast. Like,
Yeah, it's like
how far away are we from the
it's
border?
2 regions away.
Yeah. How far away from the border of Sydney?
I
New South Wales. Sorry, bro. I used to live in Sydney, so every time I think of New South Wales, to me, it's just Sydney. It's the only
border
place
of New South. You can just go out here, jump straight on the M1, and it's like 10 minutes. Yeah, not far away. Could run there.
It took me an hour to drive here.
An
Which
hour.
I'm not mad about. So yeah, when I said 55 minutes,
Yeah.
I had just left, even though I was 15 minutes from saying I was going to get there. So I rocked island time for real.
On my way, but you're in the shower.
Just texting in the shower on my way. All right. Welcome to episode 4 of the Prince Hunky podcast. I'm here with
Your favourite Bailangi? Jeziah McMaster.
Jeziah McMaster. Mate, how are you?
I'm great.
That's great.
I'm very good.
What do you want to talk about? Because I actually did not think about.
Didn't write anything down?
I didn't write anything down for this.
Speak from the heart. Bit of banter.
Yeah, a bit of banter.
Yeah.
Let's just talk shit.
I don't speak that language, mate.
Oh, sorry, not in your house. Sorry. We're going to talk. I guess we're going to talk about religion a lot.
Yeah, why not?
Controversial topics.
Yep.
Actually, let's start how we met. That would probably be a great place to start.
How did we meet?
Church.
When?
I was doing a documentary for church. Well, this is when I say met. Maybe not met, but when we like started actually like hanging out and stuff.
Because I remember that, but I just don't remember how we actually initially.
I remember we got bubble tea together.
Didn't you come to my 20th?
Yes,
My 20th.
You invited me. Your 20th? No, it was your 21st, was it not?
Was it?
Yeah. At your old
21st.
house? Yeah. And everyone was there.
I had a few birthdays there.
And Trent had to go poo during the speeches.
Oh.
And like,
Didn't know that.
Did you know that?
Well, the speeches were getting said to me, so I was sort of like focused, you know.
I just got a video of him coming out like, and he's got the after poo walk, you know, like
mid-speech.
Yeah, it was like right in the middle. But yeah, so I was doing a documentary for our church, and I wanted to interview Jez for it, and
That's right.
And this light right there was the light that was there on that day.
Wow.
So it's just been us 3.
Just united again.
From then till now.
Yeah. How cute.
But yeah, and then we started going out to Burleigh and Surface. Jeziah's favourite place is Surface.
Oh, Surface. Disgusting.
That's his favourite place
Sin
to go.
City.
Yeah, but and then we just started doing interviews, public interviews, and talking to people, asking definitely not controversial questions at all.
Not at all.
Not at
Very
all.
Basic, simple stuff.
Yep, you know.
That makes everyone happy.
Makes everybody happy. What's been the most hate comment you've gotten from those videos, your interview ones?
My interviews.
Because I just remember the Asians, and you're asking them, what was the question?
We asked a group of Asian girls what was it? How many states are there in Australia?
Yeah.
And they answered with 3 months. Now, clearly, after we came home and looked at the videos, we realised they would have heard, how long are you staying in Australia?
Yeah.
But, you know, you don't think about that when you're in it.
Yeah, in the heat of the moment, yeah.
And, you know, everyone was like, you're not speaking clear enough, you're speaking too fast. But I'm like, we didn't approach these girls thinking that they'd be broken English or anything, because, you know,
Australia's very you know.
Yes,
so there's
very
just
diverse, especially in the middle of surfers.
100%.
And, you know, if we had expected or, like, gone into it thinking they are broken English, you still would have got hate. because then you're, like, then you're racist.
There's just no escape from the hate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that video is hilarious. I don't care what anyone says. We weren't being rude. In fact, they gave us the wrong answer, and I still said you got it because I was like wanting to be nice. I wasn't an idiot. I was still being nice at the end of it. You know.
Yeah.
Who cares? But
man, we do come across some idiots out there though. There's a lot of dumb people.
The guy that took my mic.
Oh.
Two guys that tried to take my mic.
Yeah.
First one got it and had it in his hands. The second one tried, but
but that was next. Like he ripped it straight out of my hands. Do you still have the footage?
Yeah, had spit all over it.
Yuck.
He was running off about to drop kick it, and then you pulled it out of his hands. Because I was like,
he did the full run up too, and I was like, hey.
Well, we were interviewing him.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he was like getting too hype, and he's like, stuff.
Because you're wearing blue.
Oh, that's right. And he was like, "Career, like, just take like." He was obviously off his head. Yeah, he was off his head, but
man, Surface is just a next.
It's
just next level, eh?
You know what? Being like in my younger days, being drunk there, you don't see half of the stuff that goes on because you're just like in your own.
You're in it.
Yeah, you're with it. You're in it.
Yeah.
And then you go there sober for half an hour, and you're like, "Why did I ever come here?"
Man, I hate clubbing. I hate clubbing so much.
Yeah, no,
on gross. So many different levels, and a lot of my friends are they're starting to come around not liking clubbing, which I'm not. I'm not like, do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to ban. I'm not
it's cool though when your other mates are starting to get more like.
Yeah, that is like, man, I just rather like hang out at home and like hang with your friends. I'm like, yes, that is so my vibe.
Like get a feed and go to a lookout or something.
Yeah, for real, because
so much more meaningful.
Yeah, clubbing. First of all, I don't really like modern music, and clubbing is full of that, and it's just like, I think if you're single, it's okay to go clubbing. If you're in a relationship, I don't think you should go at all.
I don't think you should either. No, unless like it's like, say it was my little brother's 18th.
Yeah.
And him and his boys wanted to go out. I would take him out just to look after them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't have a brother, so it's not going to happen.
I would go clubbing on special occasions, and I've said that to all my friends. It's like, if it's your birthday, I'll come out. But
even then, I'm like, nah, I'm not keen. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I'll come to your dinner, have a few drinks there. Then that's it. If you're going out, I'm going home.
Yeah. My first time clubbing was the only time I've enjoyed it, and I threw up at the end of the night. And I thought I was going to get kicked out, but it was like, I don't know when they closed, like 3.
Yeah.
It was like 2:50, and that's when I decided to throw up. So the secchi was just pissed.
He was off it.
And I tried to cover the vomit with my mouth before it came out, and it just went like through my fingers. Yeah, and it just went everywhere, and I was just
that's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst at the end of the night too if you vomited because you're just like, okay, I went too hard.
Yeah.
That was too far.
But that kebab, that snack pack afterwards was...
Oh.
That's the one thing I do like about clubbing is that
all the carbs.
Snack pack is the food. That is the food.
For me, it was snack pack or like Macca's.
Yeah.
And then the next day was like Subway or KFC, something like that.
That morning after.
Yeah,
that hangover. What's the hangover cure for me is like hash brown.
Hash brown, bro. Big eggs Benny.
Yeah.
With some hash browns.
Oh, the eggs Benny. That's crazy. Yeah, it's good.
Massive cafe feed.
Oh,
and some fresh ass
just
wine.
a synchronized drink there.
Thank you.
If you're not watching, go to YouTube and watch that because that was crazy. But that was my shameless plug trying to get them
to not watching.
Well, because they're listening.
Oh,
if they're listening on Spotify.
Let's do it again. Ready? Make it loud so they can hear it. If you're listening, don't go and watch because we just did
it. Just imagine what we just did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's just get straight into you. About you.
Yep.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you? Like, what's your story? And how did you get to this place right here?
Wow. Okay. Start with my parents.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
Lovely people. I love them so much.
Thank you. My dad is an Aussie from Orange, New South Wales.
Orange.
Farm, born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
My mum was born and raised LA, Hollywood, Los Angeles.
Did she ever do acting?
No. Her dad was a casting director.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And then her grandpa and great-grandpa were both actors. They have a star on Hollywood Boulevard.
I still have a little love for like Hollywood. Not like Hollywood, like the evil stuff, but like just the glamour and all that stuff.
Of course. To an extent, you want to be in around it.
100%.
You want to be in there and around it and see
100%.
what's going on. And then when you see what's behind it, you're like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah. And did your mum ever talk about that stuff? Because your grandfather was a casting director? Yeah.
So she wanted nothing to do with it.
Wow.
That's why she left LA. She had always had this dream from a young age to go to Australia for some reason.
Wow.
So she came to Australia and she was a Jillaroo. If you don't know what that is, it's like a cowgirl, but Aussie version.
Okay.
Because she grew up around horses and stuff as well, racing, looking after them. So she came over doing that, and then she was actually she went over to Hamilton Island and was working there. And my dad was doing the same thing. They were also both out rigging at the time. I don't know if you were out rigging is.
No.
It's like a 6-man canoe with a outrigger on the side. Team racing sport.
Okay.
Very popular in Hawaii.
Oh.
So they were both doing that at the time on Hamilton Island and working.
Yep.
They met. Within 3 days, my dad proposed. And then...
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, within 3 days. My dad was like, I'm going to marry you.
And what did your mum say?
She was like, well, okay then.
Oh my gosh, if only it was that easy.
and he didn't even ask her, he told her.
Wow.
So then...
you just got that riz.
Yeah, my mum's visa was running out. So she had like 2 weeks, I think.
Wow.
And so she went back to the US. My dad sold all of his stuff to get a ticket back to the US. And then 3 months, I think they were apart. And they, back then, there's no FaceTime. You had to catch up through those, phone boxes. So that's what they were doing for 3 months. And then he flew back.
That's so funny. Kids nowadays can't handle like when their partner doesn't message them back for like 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, bro.
What were you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 months though, wow.
3 months no FaceTime. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
And then, next minute, they got married in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
They were pregnant with my sister at the time, and then they came back to Oz and had me 5 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, here I am.
Some other stuff happened, and now you're here.
Now I'm here. So,
yeah.
I was born on the Gold Coast, Southport, Gold Coast Hospital, which is not there anymore.
It's not that. I was born there too.
Yeah, it's twins. Yeah. And then we went back to the US when I was about 3.
Okay.
And we were missionaries for about 4 years as a family. Lived in an RV. Whoa. I mean, I grew up in California for a bit, and then we did about 40-ish states together as a family. Yeah. In an RV with my first cousins and my uncles and aunties, traveling around to different churches. That was a heavy season of like revival too, like the early 2000s. Yeah. So my sister and I grew up seeing all that stuff within churches, and our cousins and aunties and uncles being on the worship team, and my dad sharing, my uncle being a pastor, that sort of stuff. So that was, I went to school out in California for, I think it was like grade 2 and 3 or grade 1 and 3, something like that.
Do you remember that period like a lot?
Not much.
Okay.
I think the actual first memory of my young life is probably like maybe from like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's not like you can travel that far back in your mind and actually remember what age you were and stuff. But I do remember growing up there. Mm-hmm. I remember going to school there. We did homeschool as well in between that when we weren't at school. Yeah. When we were traveling and stuff. And then we came back, I think, in 2009. Mm-hmm. So I was 8 at the time. Mm-hmm. Then I started going to school on the Gold Coast. Grade 3 to grade 8, I went to Hillcrest in Reedy Creek.
Oh, yes.
Then grade 9 and 10, I went to Pat Coast in Tweed. And then grade 11 and 12, I did homeschool. And I finished it in like a year. So I graduated a year early than everyone else because I hated school. I wanted to get out, do my photography. Oh, yeah. There was no schools that were offering photography courses or anything. That was my dream job. Yeah. So I was working at a surfboard shop at the time that I was finishing homeschool off. Mm-hmm. And then graduated the start of 2018 and pretty much got out and was straight into the surf industry with my photography. Wow. And wow, there's a whole lot more now.
It just come up.
Wow. Even just I just explained a lot, and now you get to 2018, and there's still so much more. Yeah. How deep do you want me to go?
I mean, I was a step-by-step guide to how you got specifically here.
To here. Okay.
So I guess the big points that make you who you are today.
So, I think that was one of the pinnacle points was I was failing maths and English in grade 9 and 10. Mm-hmm. I hated school. Mm-hmm. I liked the banter with the boys.
What did you hate about school, though?
I think my young mind was like, why do I have to go as a kid to somewhere and be instructed and like indoctrinated and follow these rules for 6 hours a day at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And you have everyone telling you when you ask those questions, oh no, because preparing for life when you're older, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
preparing for life,
really? Because you're not teaching me anything that I can't think of what I've learnt in school. I can think of the basics.
Yeah.
Everything that I learnt from grade 1 to probably grade 6 or 7.
Yeah.
The rest is like history. The rest is it's in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Can't unlock it.
They really don't teach you anything for life, I don't think.
No. So maths and English was, I was failing. And, I was like, I need something new.
Yeah.
I want to do my photography because this is the career I'm pursuing as soon as I get out of school. So when I went to homeschool, I started getting straight A's in the subjects that I hated originally, English, maths.
Interesting.
I was getting straight A's, some B's.
And homeschool, is that your parents teaching you, or is that online?
This was online, getting sent material,
Oh, yeah.
completing it, sending it back, which was awesome. I loved that. And,
Can you just Google answers?
Yes and no.
So
Because it was very particular questions.
Okay.
Very, very particular tests or
like you have to write essays or some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when it comes down to it, you end up doing an exam. You have a supervisor.
Yep.
Like my mum or one of my mum's friends or whatever. So you can't look up Google Answers during the exam. So you have to learn it during the study so that you can know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was something was Google was actually helpful. YouTube tutorials, that stuff like that, you weren't able to do in high school.
Yeah.
In high school, you'd be sitting there with your hand up, waiting for a teacher to come by, and then the bell would ring and you wouldn't get your answer.
Yeah.
Then you fail the exam and they're like, come home and parents are wondering why my grades are so bad.
Yeah.
So stuff like that would piss me off about school because I was like, how does that help me? So yeah, going from failing to straight A's in homeschool was amazing. It was also, like I said, I started to like the subjects that I originally hated. Provocative maths. Wow, did I just say provocative?
Yeah. What the heck?
Pre-vocational.
Bro, you just froze my mind just then, like provocative maths.
I saw you look like,
I was
what?
like, what the hell is provocative maths? Yeah. What were you trying
Get the answer right and you take one piece of clothing off. No,
yeah,
I'm joking.
Oh my God. Strip maths.
Yeah. No. Pre-vocational maths, wow. I don't know how I mixed that up.
Provocative, yeah. Okay, pre-vocational, yeah.
You know why?
You know what? I still don't even know what that means.
Pre-vocational. You know why I said provocative? It's because we called it pre-voc maths. That's why I got it mixed up.
Okay.
Anyways.
Fuck out.
I decided to love that pre-vocational maths.
Okay.
Because it was, again, I was not failing, so I was like, okay, I'm actually enjoying this. They were teaching me taxes, percentages,
taxes, man.
building houses, measuring, stuff for carpentry.
So maths,
budgeting,
like maths and practice,
pay slips,
yeah,
stuff that I was like actually using at the time at work.
Yeah,
tax and tax return because I was working a part-time job at the same time I was doing homeschool. So, I started to realize like this is what you need to learn in school that no one gets taught.
Yeah,
you have to learn how to do your tax and budgeting, etc. once it hits you. And that's obviously a lot more efficient to learn it a few years before.
I still haven't done my tax, so yeah.
Yeah, anyways, I was working in the surf shop for about 3 years.
Yep.
I had graduated. I went on a trip to Hawaii in December 2019. Yeah.
We're almost there.
Yeah. It's getting closer. This was like a holiday / Christmas with family, American family.
Yeah.
And then also a trip to work, take photos of the surfers and the comp that was there at the time.
Is the surf culture there like what I imagine it would be like in movies and stuff?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very it's
a big part
everyone surfs here.
Yeah.
But Hawaii it's more cultural too.
Yeah.
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 So I was there for about a month for Christmas and for the comp. And when I came back, I lost my job at the surf shop.
Yeah.
And that was crap.
Why did you lose it?
No reason. I don't know. I was literally, before I left, I was literally making the rosters for the company, for that, that shop. And doing a whole lot of, I would say, management stuff that I wasn't getting paid for. It was a casual position.
Wow.
But I was there part-time.
Yeah.
And then I came back and pretty much I was like, hey, sweet to get back to work this week, you know, and they were like, oh, sorry, don't have any work for you. After working there for 3 years.
Wow.
No reasoning, nothing. So I was like, are you serious? Like, you know, yeah, my bad. I just went and spent all my money in Hawaii, but I need to get back to work. Mm-hmm. So for about 2 months after that, I didn't have any money. I ran out of my savings.
So that would have been like February 2020.
This was January, February 2020. And at the time I was going to Glow Church. And shout out to Aaron Weston. He was the guy who was running, he just started a industrial cleaning business.
Yeah.
And he was like, I had confided in him about how broke I was.
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, I just had this business. Do you want to jump on? So I was cleaning with him for about, I think, 2-3 months. And that was good. I'm thankful for him. I didn't like the cleaning. It was horrible on your back. But then straight after that, I got a job delivery driving for Ozpost. Did that
really?
job. Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't know this?
No. Well, because I work at JB Hi-Fi in operations, so we constantly get delivery people, and Ozpost is like...
Which JB?
Mount Gravatt.
Oh, okay. I delivered to Harbourtown.
Oh, okay.
A lot. Yeah, heaps. And I started to get them.
Is it fun? Because I look at the delivery jobs, like, you must just be in your car.
It was super fun, but it was super hectic as well.
Okay.
Yeah, like very I wouldn't say time consuming, but tolling on your body.
Oh, but you're driving.
You're driving and jumping out.
Oh, okay. So it's just the constant, like, relax and move type of thing?
Well, it's not even necessarily relaxing because you're trying to get done as soon as possible. You're trying to deliver everything.
Because you don't have like a shift. It's like you have this to do.
Yes,
and you have to.
You get paid per parcel.
Yeah.
So if I had 130 parcels, that's roughly 80 to 90 locations. Yeah, maybe. So that's throughout the whole day. Take your own time for your break, and then drive home when you're ready.
Yeah.
But you had to finish by 4:30 at the latest because the post offices would start to shut at 4:30.
Yeah. So
you had to be at the post office at 4:30, handing your parcels in. Anything that you couldn't deliver, like if no one was home.
Yeah.
And around that time too was when I started my TikToks, all my videos while I was delivery driving.
So this would have been COVID would have hit by now.
COVID had hit. I think that's how I started it. I did like 1 or 2 TikToks during COVID.
Wow. So it just linked up perfectly almost.
It did. At the time, doing TikToks was the gayest thing ever. It was like...
it was like, I know it's getting late now.
Literally, bro. Yeah, SZA was number 1 on every TikTok and music chart. Yeah. So at the time, doing that was, like I said, the gayest thing ever. You did not want to do a TikTok as a guy. As a straight male, doing a TikTok was like... I don't know if you're straight anymore.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was just you're bored. You go through the most during COVID. You just you do whatever it takes to have a bit of fun. Yeah. So I'd made like 2 TikToks and they were just mud. They were so cringy, so bad. I ended up deleting them off my TikTok. I think they maybe got like 40 views or something. One of those. And then I don't know what actually sparked the idea. I don't know where it came from, but I made like an Islander. I think it was like a Māori TikTok. Yeah, like a skit. And it did really well. I think it was like 15K views. Yeah, for me,
which like I
think I had probably 10 followers.
Yeah, so
15K views. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I've never had 15K views on anything.
100%.
And then a few boys from church and stuff like Glow and then Chapel, like Trent and Elijah and all those bros, they were like, bro, this is actually funny. Like, you should do some more. And I kept doing them, bro. And I think my fourth or 5th video, it got like 322,000 views. Yeah. And it had the likes and views of like Uncle Tix, Jimmy Jackson, those sort of boys.
Have you met those guys or have you talked to those guys?
Talk to them like messages.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Jack, all those. They would comment and tag each other and that sort of stuff. And obviously, again, I was only just like getting followers and getting views. Yeah. And it was crazy because I would be delivery driving, having the notifications come through. I would like take a quick bathroom break and check. It would be 100 likes, 100 comments, 100 new followers.
It's crazy when it's blowing up and it's just boom, boom. And it's just the numbers going up like crazy.
Oh, you feel famous. I'm sitting there like taking a dump at work.
I've only had that one video. I've only had that one video, but I was like, the whole day I was like, I've just made it.
Yeah.
I've made it now. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, this is
I am Prince Hunky, you know?
People know me everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kept going, and my page blew up very quick, and I just kept doing the content. And I think I got up to like, it was like 60 or 80,000 followers within like a year, which I didn't expect.
Yeah.
At all. Mm-hmm. And it started to get real when I would be out delivery driving and start to get recognized.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Like
no,
when they open their door, they're like, "Are you?"
Well, not only that, but like walking through Harbourtown delivering. You know, there's like islanders everywhere at Harbourtown. You know, so I'm walking into shops and they're like, "Oh, like Solly." Like, yelling at me, like, "Who's all?" And I'm like, are they actually talking to me? You know?
Yeah.
I'm walking along. That's when it started to get real. When I had those first few people recognize me, I was like, okay, like I've got an actual following. You know? So anyways, fast forward, probably about a year, I was still doing the TikToks.
Yeah.
I had stopped delivery driving after about 2 years because it was just, like I said, became very time consuming. Not much time for anything else. A bit of a toll on the body.
Yeah.
And I started doing disability caring, which I loved. Still doing the skits, not as often, but still frequently. And then, for the past, I would say, 1.5 to 2 years, I've been doing disability work. I've only just stopped within the past 3 months. Yeah. And I've been painting for my dad. But before that, I was working as a disability carer. And still doing my skits maybe once a week, once a fortnight, something like that. Yeah. Compared to what I used to do, I was probably posting one a day or 1 or to 2 every second day, you know. Yeah. So, yeah.
What's the craziest, like, I don't want to call it like a fan interaction, but like the craziest place you've been recognized that you're like thinking, how am I being recognized right here?
It's happened in churches. I find that funny.
Interesting.
It's happened plenty of time in churches. You know, and obviously churches are friendly anyway, so you're gonna have the interaction. But then they come up to you for that reason. Yeah. You know, or I think when it's young Aussie kids, like 10, 11, 12-year-old Aussie kids, they come up like, "Uso!" And I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, like Aussie as, you know? And I'm like, you don't expect it because I have this audience of like, I would say 15 to 30-year-old, mainly Polynesian audience, and then obviously very heavily Australian and American as well. So when really young Aussie kids come up to me and recognize me, that surprises me because I'm like, you're on TikTok? Like you have a phone? I didn't have a phone at 12.
Yeah, for real, man. I think about that sometimes. I'm like, man, these kids at like 11, 12, they have better iPhones, better iPhone than I do. You know, I was playing with Lego when I was 11.
Yeah, no, literally. I shared this meme yesterday on Facebook. It was like kids these days at 7 have like AirPods and Apple iPhones and iPads, and me at 7, I was like yelling into the fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to get that.
Bro, that was my entertainment.
Right, and that still slaps.
Yeah. Well, when I was 7, the iPad wasn't even invented.
Yeah, wow.
And I think maybe the first iPhone hadn't even come out. I think, when did it come out? Like 2009, 2010?
I'm not sure. I do remember getting the iPad though. I was.
And that thing was a brick, bro.
Bro,
compared to when like they brought up like the iPad minis.
Bro, the iPad mini, and it was just like one step down, it's basically an iPhone.
Literally.
You know?
You could just tap it and it was bent. It was so light and plastic.
But I just remember like touchscreen was just like...
Yeah, that was
You know
crazy.
what I mean? Because before that, everything was buttons.
Yep.
And so many buttons too. And
all the games.
Yeah, you had to click the number 2 to get the letter C. You know, you had to like but C.
Had to hit it 3 times. Bro, texting took so long back then. That's how I reckon we created all these like shortened words.
Oh, like
is because they were like
LOL
just
and
could
stuff?
not be bothered.
Yeah.
G2G, BRB, LOL is because they were like, stuff this. I'm not freaking no touchscreen.
Honestly, you're probably right though, because before that just wouldn't have existed.
Well, and now it's become vocabulary for young people.
Oh yeah, it's like dictionary words now. It's in the Oxford Dictionary.
Oh mate, don't change the dictionary.
I know. Man, everything's just getting defined like incorrectly these days.
Yeah. Oh,
Are we gonna
I'm gonna.
are we gonna get into it?
I'm gonna say that word manifest,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Stop saying I manifested this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna manifest this.
Yeah.
That's not what it means.
Mm.
Manifest means, I'm gonna say this to you, all you idiots that use it incorrectly.
Yeah, give him the eye contact. And for those that are listening, he's looking into the camera.
Manifest literally means something to become evident, something to for you to make something clear, or for it to make itself clear. You know, like if if something is to manifest, it's to become visible.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh yeah, manifest it, queen," like stuff like that, manifest it into your life. It's like what? Make something clear into your life. It's like speak it into existence. I believe in that.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
speak something into existence. I get that. I believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's almost biblical. Is a fine line,
Yeah.
but manifest it. It's just the wrong terminology. People use it. It's a very new agey saying, like the law of attraction and manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, you know, if you were to see my true colors, say you're getting to know me,
Yeah.
and then my true colors, my true personality starts to come out. That's my personality manifesting.
Yeah.
You know, that's not me saying, I'm gonna make $1 million. I'm gonna manifest $1 million, and then the $1 million pops into my life. You know, like it's I don't know. I'm not gonna get too far into it, but it started to piss me off when I started to hear it a lot. I was like, that's not what manifest means. It's actually not at all.
Well, I used to say it because that's what I thought. And then, I changed into prayer because that's basically what they're saying. It's just like you're going to think and speak about something and then it's going to happen. That's what prayer is. Obviously, prayer needs action. Yeah. You know, but
prayer is also means to request or to ask.
Yeah. So, and manifesting felt a bit too disconnected from, God, I think.
Yeah. And it's very self-centered. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, you know. And I do believe, like I said, speak it into existence. But making things clear and bringing it to God is a whole lot different than you thinking that if you're going to focus so much on something that it's just going to happen, you know, because it's not always how it works.
It's not.
You know, obviously, if you're working hard on something, you're speaking into your life, you're bringing it to God, or if you're just committing to something consistently, it's going to manifest in your life, whatever this goal is. But I'm not going to manifest the Camaro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and I do think manifesting in the way that you've described how people define it, I do think they would think about it and do whatever, but sometimes they won't get what they want, but they do get what they need out of it. You know, whether it's a lesson or a mistake, you know, something learnt, or it is the thing that they wanted. But so
and a lot of people they'll you know make something happen, or they'll reach a goal and they'll go like, manifestation. That was all that. Yeah. You know, I manifested that. Like, did you?
Did you? What the hell did you do?
Yeah, really? Did you do that? Did you manifest it?
Yeah.
It's like saying, I'm going to appear that into my life. Doesn't make sense. Anyways, move on, because,
Yeah, but, so you're going to do photography for surfing. And then I remember you talked to me about it a while ago, but you just lost that.
Yeah.
You just lost that. And I recently had that happen to me. I lost a lot of love for filmmaking. Yeah. And that's why I started doing more music stuff and social media stuff.
Well, I never lost the love for it. I just lost my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come you haven't gone back into it?
Well, it's not necessarily, a lot of people say that, but it's not really that easy. I lost my job right before COVID happened. Yeah. Due to COVID. You know, all the traveling restrictions came in. Yeah. So I couldn't travel on the tour. That was the job that was coming up. You know, you could literally only say in Australia, the surf tour, I didn't think it happened for another year or two after that. So there was no possibility of me making a living out of that. That was like me coming up in the industry. Yeah. You know, I had a few good names in my contact book. Yeah. You know, I had a decent portfolio. I had some good contacts, whatever. But there was really no way around it. I just had to get back to that 9-to-5 basic living. Yeah. And that's what I didn't like, because I had spent probably 4 or 5 years of my life, young years of my life, like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And then when I had it in my hands and it got taken from me, that's what made me, I didn't lose the love for photography and the film industry. Yeah. I just had resentment. wasn't towards anyone in particular. It was just like COVID. Like, you freaking bastard. And then when I had come to the senses of like, you know, it doesn't have to be what this is, all these travel restrictions and masks.
Yeah.
When you come to the realization of like, that was all just
masks.
Bro, that was all just a facade and just rubbish.
And like,
it makes you even more mad.
And if you think about it now, in terms of how we live now, it definitely was a facade. No one wears masks anymore. No. Remember when we had to get vaccinated to go places?
I didn't, but yeah.
I didn't get vaccinated either. But I know some people that did. And
some suckers.
Nah,
jokes.
But yeah, no. Yeah. We probably should be joking because a lot of people actually got hurt by the vaccinations.
Yeah, no, a lot.
And guess who didn't talk about it? The media.
Yeah, no one talked about it. And it's still happening. You know, people are still, you know, some people are dropping dead. Yeah, it's a rare thing, but it is happening.
I know.
Most of the people that have been injured by this vaccine, it's been pretty evident. It's not been out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's been pretty soon after their vaccination.
Yeah. And that's not to say COVID's complete horseshit, because it is still like a disease. And it still did make people sick. Real. Yeah.
Yeah, but as to where it's come from and whether it's man-made or not, that's where it's questionable.
And it has been played up a lot in terms of the precautions that have been brought in. Like, we had to stay home like for so long, and they had no idea. There's a clip of them on news articles and like talk shows and stuff saying the vaccination is 100% success rate or whatever, and then week by week it was like 98%, and then 70%,
kept going down,
and then it's like 30, and it's like, well, we're just shoving shit into our bodies now, you know.
Look, and I'm not, when I say suckers, I'm talking about the people that fell into this idea of like, we need it,
opposed to the people that forced,
opposed to the people that were forced.
Yeah,
you know, opposed to people that had to get it to keep their jobs or to feed their kids. Yeah, I was never against that. I'm not against anyone getting the vaccine. Yeah, because again, that comes down to free will and personal choice. Yeah, I'm against people forcing it onto you and saying you're not going to get paid if you don't get it,
or making you feel shit if you didn't get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, shout out to love to everyone. Vaxxed or not vaxxed, masked or unmasked. Actually, no, if you wear masks, you're a bit, you know.
But yeah, that was just such a defining moment for the world when it happened. And now, no one talks about it. Yeah. You know, and that just shows how ridiculous it was, and the media and the government and all that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I probably should keep quiet or I'm going to get sniped in a sec if I talk more about the government being horse crap. But yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
What's the conspiracy you 100% believe?
I 100% believe?
Yeah, like without a shadow of a doubt.
Without a doubt that COVID didn't just come out of nowhere.
Okay. Yeah. So you think it was a preconceived like plan?
I think there was some idea because, you know, how do you come up with a vaccine that quickly?
Yeah, it takes years to develop.
Years and to they were just even get approved. It wasn't approved at the time that they were actually distributing it. Yeah. It stated on like the FDA's website that it was experimental, stuff like that. You know, it's like, really? Yeah. And you still believe, like, you know, if someone's got a cough that you're going to be like, shy away.
I know, I remember that. People were sneezing and like,
you'd have
get away from me.
Have all these eyes on you.
Get away from me.
Yeah.
It's like, bruh.
I go to the gym if I'm sick, bro. Because I'm like, go sweat it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you're crippled, bro, if you're vomiting or anything like that, you got to stay in bed. Yeah. Rest up.
If you're sick, bro.
But if I'm got a cold or just a mild flu,
sniffly
I don't care. I'll get in the gym, keep my hands clean, you know, so no one else gets sick. But I'm still getting in there and working out.
I do also think your perspective and your mindset actually affects if you're sick or not, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if you're someone that gets a sniffly nose or, like, you get a cold and you're like, I'm sick. Yeah, you'll be sick.
If you're
I've had colds and I've gone to work and, like, I'm just like, no, it's just, I just got a runny nose. Yeah. And then, after a day, you're fine.
Well, if you're a sook, you might want to. No, honestly, like.
Yeah, bro.
And everyone says, you know, men are sooks when it comes to being sick. I would debate that for me personally. Yeah. It takes a lot for me to stay in bed for a day. It really does.
Yeah.
I do not like, you know, sleeping in that much.
Yeah.
I sleep in on maybe once a week because I'm like, okay, this is the day that I need it. You know, but I like to get up 5 or 6 most days, getting out and about. The only time that I'm really laying in my bed is obviously in the morning when I get up, or if I get home and I'm wrecked, jump in bed, you know, lay down, watch some TV. Yeah. But if you're,
I don't really get sick often as well. It's only when I've had like diseases that I'm like bedridden. I got chicken pox like
really
a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I didn't get it as kids. I didn't get
it
as a kid.
Once when I was in like
You say once as in you got it another time.
Hmm?
You know you can only get chickenpox like once.
That's what I mean.
Oh.
I got it once.
Oh, okay. You said once as in like, I thought you were going to say, I got it once this time and then this time again.
No, I got it only once, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And this was in, I think, grade like 9 or 8 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally just only had the dots pop in my body. I wasn't even sick. But
Really?
They sent me home though, because it obviously was still contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I had the shivers. I was like, oh,
really?
Mind. Yeah, it was proper. And we were doing Motown rehearsals.
Ah.
So they were all downstairs because we had them in our house. They were all downstairs. I was on a FaceTime watching the whole rehearsal while I was sitting upstairs in my room.
That's the worst, eh?
But it was crazy. I brought like a whole table in my room and like they were delivering food and I was like, this isn't too bad, you know. And they're very loving and caring, the women in that house. So they brought like ice cream and like sorbet and like fruit salad and like and pancakes. I was like, what is happening?
While you were sick?
Yeah.
No way.
And I was like, can I be sick longer? Like,
yeah. Bro, when I'm sick, I'm on like sick food. I'm like mee goreng soup.
Oh, really?
Soup, Vegemite soup.
Oh, I can't eat like food. I didn't eat all the like ice cream and stuff, but like, you don't really want to eat when you're sick. Eh?
I avoid like chocolate and sugary stuff when I'm sick.
Yeah.
Because I find it's, besides like a frozen Coke, if I have a sore throat, a frozen Coke is soothing because it's so cold.
Frozen Coke low-key medicine on a lot of different things because you'll drink it and you'll just be like, oh.
It's medicine for your fat, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's so good. Whoever came up with like the concept of Slurpee or frozen Coke is next level. And then to make it $1,
mate.
Oh, but now it's $2 now. But
is it? At Macca's? See, they always they jack it up, right, and then they bring it back down. They did that with the soft serve.
Don't talk about the soft serves, bro. I'm still hurt by it.
How do you go from 50 cents to 75 cents to, I think it dropped down to like, what, 25 or something, or 20?
Yeah, 35 or something like that, yeah.
35 and then back up to 70 or 50. I don't even know what it is.
This is the thing that I liked about the soft serve and the frozen Coke when they were thing. We have 50-cent pieces here and dollar coins.
Yeah, so it's easy.
It's easy. And then they made it a 75 cents for a soft serve.
Yeah.
And now I don't want to get it just for the effort of getting, you know, and I'm not going to pay
the whole
75 cents on
the
my
change.
card. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Loose change menu was the best thing in early high school.
Menu. And the ads were great too because I did exactly what it did on the ads. Like they would go in the couch and like look for coin stuff, and I was like,
or
I'm going to do that.
The Australian ads of like running across from the beach with loose change in your pocket, hopping across on the white lines on the road because the black part is so hot.
Yeah.
Burnt feet standing in the cold Maccas.
Oh, I know. I can still feel it. Like I can just.
That was young life on the Gold Coast, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, the Gold Coast is a beautiful place, though. I know we just talk smack about surface and stuff, but if you look in,
amazing.
If you look in the right parts, yeah,
it's getting very busy and very, like I said before, Sin City. I
actually compared it to LA. I've only been to LA for 2 weeks when we went on our school trip, and I was just looking at it and I was like, there's just a lot of similarities. Like Hollywood Boulevard, you'd expect to be this crazy, clean, everything slick, bro.
That's Surfers.
Yeah, it's Cavill Avenue, bro.
It's a step up from Surfers, though.
I think I don't know if I told you this, but there was a guy on Hollywood Boulevard holding up a sign, a cardboard sign, and they just painted a marker: free vagina massage.
Oh my gosh! Did you get one?
Of course. But he was homeless and everything, and I was just like, and I was like,
desperate measures. That's where your mind. Where your mind goes when you try to make some money?
It's free. He's not getting paid. You know what I mean? Like, there's no. He just wants to. I don't know. Anyway, enough about that guy. But yeah, but it was so cool seeing the stars on the floor and stuff.
Yeah,
like
cool. Eh?
Yeah, and there's a lot of.
It's weird how you like. It's just a name on the floor, but you have some sort of connection. You're like, Ice Cube.
You love Ice Cube though. That's your guy.
How could you not,
bro? For me,
I don't know anyone that doesn't like Ice Cube.
I love Cube as well. Just want to hit him with the Cube, but I wouldn't say he's like my because he's a lot of people's like dude. They're like they're legit. Like respect his opinion. Yeah, everything that he's done. You know, musically. For me, first he was movies. It was Are We There Yet?
He was for a lot of people. Like I've known people that only knew him through his acting and didn't even know that he made music. And
it wasn't until Straight Outta Compton came out that I knew that he was like...
No way.
I knew that he could rap.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was like a rapper. And then I watched that movie actually changed a lot for me.
Yeah.
Watching it, I really understood.
Amazing movie.
Because I was so ignorant back then. I understood black culture and what it's like over in America.
Yeah.
And NWA obviously was a massive movement. And it's just so cool that Cube was one of the only ones, apart from Dre, to like continue on with such a massive career.
Solo,
Yeah. And there's a lot of groups like that now. If you think about it, NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, One Direction, Harry Styles. I guess Zayn as well, but
it's not the same these days though.
It's not. Music nowadays isn't the same, but
I think it almost went too digital.
When do you think it happened though? Because I know when I think it happened, like when it stopped becoming good music.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking. Okay, I'm not going to say there's not good music these days.
Of course.
I guess when I'm thinking more about rap. I'm talking about rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
In terms of rap and hip hop, there's still good music, but it's nothing like
what it was
the 70s through the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Late 90s. It's completely different.
And like the 90s was like...
I think it got so easy, because of our technology, that you didn't have to be that good to blow up. I mean, look at like... I'll throw some names. Blueface, NLE Chopper, the Migos, people that have blown up, rich dudes, really rich dudes, because of their music, and they sort of suck. I'm not going to say they don't have some bangers. They got some music I'll listen to.
Of course, yeah.
But I don't sit there and be like, these guys are good rappers.
Lack of talent, but a lot of look.
Yes.
And aesthetic, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. And, there was a scene of that style of music, that trap sort of a hibbida ha, like that became very popular for a short season. But then you see these same guys that blew up through that season are still doing the same thing, and I'm like, they didn't really adapt to the times.
Yeah.
And they're not really like how would you say ambassadors or like people that created these styles of rap. I think it just came about. And they came up through it,
And raps are very, like, when it came through, it started in the late 70s. Do you know the first rap song ever?
As in Grandmaster Flash? Are we talking Grandmaster Flash? Are we talking before him?
Love Grandmaster Flash, by the way.
I know there was someone before him, I just don't know.
The first rap song, like, officially, like, this was the first rap song. It was released, in the late 70s, I think.
What's it called?
Rapper's Delight.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the it's like that. There was a video of T-Pain, I think.
Yeah.
With somebody, and they were making fun of it. Like they were just doing like little beats on a drum machine.
Yeah.
And like they were doing like a hip, a hop. Like it's that sense.
Hibbit, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it is that type of. It's almost like
the bang boogie.
It's almost a bit corny, but like from going to that to like. Artists like Puck and when rap comes through as like poetry and stuff, and they talk about real issues.
Yes.
It's just awesome.
When it becomes political, I love it because you hear very honest opinions.
Yeah.
Whereas it's different when you're hearing all this like, it's all just talk about girls and money and cars and drugs, and it's like that stuff was going on back then. When the first rap, when these first big...
The 90s.
Yeah. Rap groups and stuff came out, but that wasn't the sole, like, message.
Yeah.
It was, in a way, political, and it was, in a way, like you said, a movement, because they were talking about real stuff that was going on around them. It wasn't like... and, the girls and the drugs and stuff, it's real stuff, too, that's going around there, but, like, who cares?
Yeah, that's not the substance of what they were talking about.
Exactly, and that's not a movement.
It's not. It's not. And nowadays, every song is about girls or drugs or money. And now it's turning into like killing people and stuff, and it's like, wow.
Suicidal stuff.
Yeah.
Demonic stuff is becoming very like popular.
Man, there's just been a lot of demonic stuff in music happening lately.
So
from like Sam Smith to
from Sam Smith to Sam Smith.
That guy or girl or that thing.
Yeah. Them.
The fish of them.
Fish of them. Oh my gosh, bro.
I love how he tried to slide it in. Too. He was like, fish of them.
It's like he knew he was doing that.
Yeah.
He knew, okay, I'm going to slip it in here.
Yeah.
And he's like, fish of them.
Gotcha.
And they were like, what?
I saw a
fisherman.
I saw a TikTok of him singing one of his old songs, and the lyric is, "But I'm just a man," and it's just
yeah. Was that my story today?
Like, are you really? Oh, I think it was. I think it was your story.
And they were like, "Well,"
I love that meme. The Leo
so
DiCaprio.
good.
Yeah.
How good's Leo?
Well,
Yes or no?
well, he only likes girls under 25 now.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably always has though.
Well, yeah. Well, he's almost 50 now, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think now it's time to extend the 30 under 30.
I mean, he doesn't have to in his position with the money and whatever the fame. But yeah, obviously yes. If that was me or you, are you kidding? 25, far out.
Yeah.
Half his age.
Yeah. But it's just funny that like people joke about it, right? But if that was like a regular person, yeah, cancelled. Weird. You're weird.
Yeah.
And Leo's called weird as well, but like it's not going to touch him. Like it's not going to affect
all
him at
actors
all.
a bit weird?
Yeah.
Aren't they all a bit?
I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 that I think are legitimate, just down to earth people.
Yeah.
One of them's Keanu Reeves.
Wow. Yep. I think one is Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is actually, I didn't know who I was thinking of, but that is the other person.
Yes.
And
But I don't think I can name any others, to be honest.
yeah, I was going to
Maybe
say
Chris Hemsworth.
I was going to say Robin Williams, but he was weird, but in more of a genuine sort of way.
Yes.
Like he wasn't
Quirky.
weird. Yeah, quirky.
So
like,
Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
But
but
you know
Jim
what it is?
Carrey
I
can
don't
hit the serious notes as well.
I think people make these guys out to look more weird and creepy than they are.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's like you say, they're more down to earth. And then it's like you interview these other actors who are so cool in movies and they're not weird or creepy. They're just like the jock or the funny guy.
Yeah.
They get interviewed in real life and you're like, they're actually quite bland and just like boring, you know, as people from what you see in these interviews, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder how much, because obviously they get PR trained, you know, so I wonder how much of them in real life interviews and stuff is like scripted or acting, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always love meeting or like seeing those sort of clips of like real life, especially in music.
Yeah.
You know, when you see rappers or musicians in the studio and like you can feel it. I love that stuff. And you can tell when someone's genuine.
Yeah.
Like you can tell through their craft and stuff. So yeah, I just think that's cool. Just wanted to slide that opinion in there. You know, just thought about it and just wanted to say it.
Why not?
Why not? That's really good though. I like the
Fresh,
lime.
Fresh
yeah,
lime.
very nice. And it got dark so quickly.
Did it not?
No, it did. Well, because I thought it was going to
You
be.
know how people ask that? Like,
Yeah.
it's always, Aussies are so, they like, oh, everything's opposite.
You talking about
How's your day? Oh, not bad.
Yeah, Carl. What's his name?
Carl Barron.
Yeah, Carl Barron.
He explains that very well.
Yeah, that was a genius joke. That was a genius joke.
His material is just
so good.
so truthful.
Yeah, I think some comedians would be great preachers though.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I always think about it. Like if Kevin Hart,
He's probably like a Mike Todd of the worldly.
Yeah.
Worldly.
Well, Mike Todd. Oh.
Oh yeah. Well,
well.
that's it. I speaking of his recent video and thoughts on
What do you actually think?
Homosexuality.
Because me and you actually think differently.
Well, I watched a guy who played the full video and talked about the actual context before and after as well.
Okay.
And he was more so coming from the perspective of like, you know, when it gets down to brass tacks, you know, when you actually think about it and you're sitting here going, we don't know what it's like to fight homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't. You don't. Is that a B?
That is a B. Sub G.
Click.
Oh my gosh.
So
I can't believe you did that.
So-
I don't like bugs.
oh, you don't.
No.
It's not a bug. It's an insect. Flying insect. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
A bug, yeah. Bee's a bug. It's one of the nicer bugs though.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Mike Todd.
Mike Todd, yeah.
He was coming from a perspective of like, I don't know what these guys are going through in their brains when they're fighting homosexuality.
Yeah.
And like, I get what he's saying there because it's like, we don't get it.
Yeah.
Unless you're fighting it yourself, you don't get what's going on inside your head. And the reason I say fighting is because it's not like you're just born with it and then that's you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was, there would be no fighting or coming out as gay.
Yeah.
You know, it can't be natural if you have to come out gay.
Seed was planted somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I think he was coming from this perspective of like, I don't know. When you ask me about what do you think about homosexuality and gay marriage, and he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then he goes on to say, and this was what wasn't shown in the clip.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on to say, I don't know, but I do know what the rules are in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I know what God thinks.
Yeah.
So the fact that he said that was good.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes on a little bit further, and this wasn't shown in the clip either. And he was very still just like iffy.
Yeah.
And like he said, like, you know, I wish there was like an A, B, C, and D instead of like an A and a B.
Yeah. And a lot of
that's, I think, as a pastor and a male Christian leader, you should, in those situations, yes, transparency and honesty is good.
Mm-hmm.
But like he said, he knows what it is in the kingdom.
Yeah.
So we do know.
Yeah.
Like if we know what it is in the kingdom, we do know.
Yeah.
So you can't say, I don't know, but I know what it is in the kingdom. Like if it's like, I don't understand.
Or like, I don't know why.
What it is. Yeah. Then that's a different thing. But he's saying like, I don't know, but the Bible says this.
Yeah.
But I still don't know. But it's like, but you do. Because
Yeah.
you just told us, you know? So it was taken a bit out of context, that clip.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it was still a bit of an iffy, how you going message. And then his Easter service performance was very off and very worldly.
I just don't like, because he is actually someone that I really enjoyed watching.
Same.
And like everything he would say, I was like, man, like this guy's really speaking to me.
And look, I'm not going to look down his previous messages because of this. You know, that it's still history and stuff he's shared, good stuff that we can apply to our lives. But, you know, I watched a bit more of that Easter service performance today, and it was just
the whole, that Kesha song is just like.
The Kesha song, did you see the stuff about twerking too?
Nah.
These girls talking about fatties on stage, like having a fat butt.
Really?
Yeah. During a church performance. I was like, are you serious?
That's just so like, it's just against it. It's just against what
it's complete
it is.
opposite of what it should ever be.
Of what it is, yeah. And it's not like, I can't even, it's just so baffling to me because usually I can find like, oh yeah, it's this, like that's what it is.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. There's no world where I can see that as acceptable for an Easter.
Yeah.
It's not even like it's Easter.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the resurrection of Christ.
This is not about how good your acting is or how good you can dance.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm actually very off Easter performances now.
Okay.
And not just because of Mike Todd's, you know, whole performance, just in general, because I think it's very, although it's like, glory to God through my dance or through my song.
Yeah.
It's still like, it's through me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's very me, and look at us.
So you think Easter sort of production should be more of a vessel?
I think they should just be taken a bit more seriously. Like, I don't think an Easter dance is necessary.
Did you go to Easter United?
No, I didn't. I was away still.
Yeah,
I was away in Melbourne.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
But yeah, for me, like a dance versus say like a skit or like a what would you say, like a skit or a performance, like a bit of acting and storytelling.
Yeah.
A recreation. You know, something like that is a whole lot different to just a dance or like, you know, talking about fatties at church. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But
there's actually a new show called, I think it's called, my cousin showed me. It's called Praise It or Praise Him.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. And it's it's basically Pitch Perfect, but for praise teams. But like I was watching it, and they take modern songs and they change the lyrics.
Yeah.
But even on that, there's a lot of walking the line and like the choreography, and I was like, they weren't like hard out twerking, but you know, there's little tiny subtle, and I was like,
it's getting very close to it.
I was like, this is very, you know,
and that's where it's like. It's like the Bible says, flee from temptation. It doesn't say walk the line of temptation.
Yeah.
It's the same as bringing these small, tiny things into performances.
Yeah.
I mean, my Todd service, that was not small things. That was very big.
I just don't see how he would, like, it's not like he didn't know that was going to happen. It's his church, you know.
But it's like sneaking jokes into a Christian movie, like sexual jokes or very secular or worldly jokes. It's like you're just dancing the line. You're just trying to entertain the people.
Yeah.
And if this is truly a Christian movie, you're going to know that you don't need to have these worldly jokes thrown in.
Yeah.
You know, so.
However, the one thing I don't like about a lot of Christian films is there's a lot of just unrealistic Christians in there, if that makes sense. Like perfect.
Like perfect holy man.
Yeah, and it's like, nah, you know, I'm going to say 95% of Christians are like broken and whatnot, and they
do make these worldly jokes and stuff.
Yes.
So I get it because it's like we can relate to the movie.
Yeah.
But I think what it also does is encourage us to still allow that and to not try and not do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It can be a bit unrealistic.
Yeah, and it frustrates me because if you were to give someone like a real shot of making a good Christian film, I can't. Oh, like Hacksaw Ridge, I'd consider a Christian film. Have you watched that?
I love that movie.
And it's really good.
Yeah.
And obviously the forefront isn't God and whatnot, but it's a massive theme, and it's the reason, you know, why. I can't remember what's the guy's name, Desmond, the soldier. You know, it's the reason why he does the amazing things that he does, because of the strength of Christ. But like, if you look at a lot of B-list movies that are Christian movies, they're just all like cringe, or they're not realistic, or
some of the acting is very average, but it's because Hollywood shuns them.
Yeah,
they don't want these.
100%
good actors.
100%.
I mean, look, you got Mark Wahlberg, who just did
the father,
the Father Stew, the Catholic
Father
movie.
Stew. That's
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And he comes across in social media to be a committed Catholic, which I respect. But then I also see him still doing, you know, sexual references or scenes in a movie that you have to skip when you're watching the movie, and it's like that doesn't really line up with your faith.
It's a tough one though, because even someone like Matthew McConaughey, who is actually quite famously known for, you know, having faith.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that he does.
He does more than walk the line. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can still tell that he is you know, when he talks about God, he talks about, you know, even where his name come from, Matthew. He is legit. He knows his stuff, and he's got a connection to God through his faith. But so it's a weird thing, especially with acting. It's like,
it's hard.
How do you want to?
It's you know, like if you're lukewarm, then obviously you're going to mold it around your career. But if you're hard out for God, you're going to say it's this or nothing. You know. So,
do you think if you are, that disqualifies you from some roles? Do you think?
If you're what?
If you are a full Christian and have strong faith, do you think that would disqualify you from some roles if you're an actor specifically?
I think if you are 100% a committed Christian publicly within Hollywood, you would definitely be shunned and not get many roles.
Yeah.
Because you would speak out against the stuff that Hollywood promotes.
Yeah. Well, Chris Pratt, you know Chris Pratt, and he's like a Christian.
Yes.
He just spoke out saying that Hollywood, this was weird to me. He said that Hollywood's actually open to a lot of those ideas.
Yeah.
Of like Christianity and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's true, because
doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't seem like it. However, there is
maybe he got paid to say that, but I hope not. You know.
Yeah, I really hope not, because I do like him a lot. I liked him before I found out he was a Christian. So to hear that was like, yes.
But you know, same thing goes with Chris Pratt. I don't know where his Christianity began or what his commitment is to God. But you know,
I don't think he was a Christian. I think he found it during his fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was great in Mario, by the way. Everyone trashed it on his accent, but like he was really good. I did love that movie. But Christianity in Hollywood is like, you know, and it's the devil's wheelhouse's music.
That's his territory.
Thanks, mate. A little bit of a refreshing glass of agua.
I think we need some fresh lime in ours.
But yeah, you know what I've always wanted to see, and I'd always do these questions like if I was to go to heaven and I was to go to like the archive of existence, and you could look up any event or anything.
Yes.
I always go to 3, but I've changed one of them out. I really want to see, because I don't like the devil, obviously, but I do have a bit of a fascination with his story, because I do feel empathy towards him, if that makes sense. In terms of like,
as in you put yourself in his shoes.
I just feel he's just insecure, you know, and he just wants love.
Do you feel like Lucifer, you know, Satan?
Yeah.
As soon as he got kicked down to hell, he was like, I've gone too far. And being like, that sort of thing. I wish I could go back. Or he was just like set, like that was him. Like he was like, yes, I think because I can now destroy people's lives.
I think because of the insecurity of like, you know, God rejecting him, he masked it with his anger and his hatred for humans. But back to my question, I've always wanted to see what it looked like when Lucifer fell like lightning, just like visually what that looked like.
How fast that would have been and powerful and loud.
And like, I've always thought if I was to make a movie about that topic, I'd love to recreate it of how I see it.
Yeah.
Because it's just it is a, you know, I don't want to say it set things in motion, but he is
Well, that was the first sin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that not the first sin?
Yeah. And was that before Adam and Eve?
Yes.
Okay, so you might actually be able to educate me. So this is what I'm confused about. So obviously there was a bit of time before Adam and Eve came along. And, you know, the angels in heaven would be worshipping God.
I'd say so, yeah.
And then Lucifer wanted that worship.
He wanted that worship, he wanted that power.
Yeah. And then he gets sent down to hell. And then he just starts hating on humans. Because obviously they're God's creation. But like, where did sin come from, if that makes sense? Because didn't sin start when Eve bit the apple?
Well, on earth, yes. But I guess that's the first, besides on earth, the first sin was from him, that pride. Yeah. And it says pride comes before a fall. And that fall was big.
Big.
You know? So
thundering fall, yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, technically I guess that was the first sin. And then he you know, passed that on to Adam and Eve. Eve first, as the woman.
Women, man.
I had this conversation with my mum actually, because I think, you know, it was intentional why Satan like lured in Eve first, because then she could go lure in Adam.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if she went straight to Adam, he would have just thought more logically and been like, "Nah, dude, get out of here."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For real.
But because women have that that stronghold on men, that emotional connection where you can be like, "Oh, come on," you know, like think about it.
Yeah.
She probably would have been like, "No, he said this and he said that. Like, trust me, you can probably get this if you eat it. You know, like you get more power, you get strong."
And you know,
he probably wouldn't be like, "Oh, you know, that's my baby. I'll listen to her." You know, and then
that's my baby.
That's my baby. You know, boom.
Yeah.
There's the first sin.
Yeah.
So, I think there was strategy behind going to Eve first, and I'm not saying that women sin easier or anything like that. I'm just saying he went to Eve to get to Adam.
Yeah.
Whereas
because that would have been the strongest play, because one of Adam's biggest weaknesses probably would have been Eve. I don't want to call it weakness, 100%. But like, yeah. So,
well, you as a
that's
Christian
what I'm
man,
saying. Yeah.
As a Christian man, you lay down your life for your woman. You know.
You know what's crazy? You can talk to a lot of guys about that concept. Wouldn't be bothered by it at all.
Yeah.
Would not be bothered. Like, most guys would definitely die for their woman.
Yeah.
Or they'd die for a girl or whatever, because it's a manly, heroic thing to do.
Stoic.
Yeah. And but women don't like their roles, you know. So I'm not going to say women, because there are some women that like traditional values, but like the ones you see.
A lot do. Well, I'd say the feminists.
Yes.
Yeah. The feminists of the world do not like their natural roles. They think that, you know, the man can take care of that.
Yeah. But I feel like men love their natural roles.
Well, how could you not?
Yeah. But like, I'm not even talking like the accolades as in like you're the head of the house or whatever. I'm talking like you get to be the protector and the provider. Like that doesn't usually sound like, you know.
Well, I think
I like the responsibility of that.
I think it comes down to like, if you are going to sit and compare what your natural roles are to a man, then maybe you won't like yours. But if you just focus on your roles, then you're probably going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if I'm sitting comparing myself to the manager of the company that I'm working at, of course I'm going to be like, oh, damn, I want to be a manager. I'm not putting up with this.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, no, that's not how it works. You focus on your job. You know? You enjoy your roles and what you do, and you get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's really the same principle. I'm not going to sit here and be like, damn, I wish I could have the babies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe the wife would be like, oh, I wish the man could have the babies, so it wasn't so much, you know, physical toll on me. But
all I know is that they hold them for 9 months. I'm out here holding them my whole damn life, so they can. Just kidding.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Like, obviously,
for real.
They might be sitting, and it's understandable if you're going, man, that's a physical toll, mental toll, emotional toll.
Yeah,
I wish the man had the babies, but I know for sure that the women didn't wish they were that would have to work as hard as the men.
Yeah.
When your wife's at home, you know, and you're out there.
And and laying your life down if it comes to that.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure the women would much prefer to be comfortable at home with a baby, even if it's driving them nuts.
Yeah.
You know, feeding, whatever it's happening. I'm sure they'd be more comfortable doing that, looking after the house, doing the dishes, cleaning, preparing the food for when the husband comes home, rather than be out there concreting from 7 to 3.
I 100% agree.
You know,
I feel like I'm going to make a lot of people mad with, with the things you just said, but I 100% agree. And yeah, who does care? Because they live their life, they live mine.
Yeah. Well,
they don't live mine, I live mine.
People say, you know, women can do these jobs too and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes, you can.
Of course.
We're not saying that women can't do these physical labouring jobs or whatever it is, but if you just look at the majority of the people who do it, then why is it that you're fighting to do it?
And I think men aren't as bothered as much to do stuff like that.
No.
You know?
Well, it's almost like a step up in initiation as a man. If you are like a tradie at 17, 18, it's like, damn, I can chuck some boots on.
Get your steel caps on.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know many girls that want to do that.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Look, and if there's women tradies, good on you.
And women are fantastic. You guys, honestly, I know that men and women are a bit of odds at the moment, you know, in society.
But like, we're not though, are we? We just, it seems that way.
I guess
people make it that way.
Yeah, social
and
media
people fall into these. It's like that saying, "You don't have an idea has you." You know, it's like this idea that you can do everything a man can.
Yeah.
Or that the men don't need women.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, you know? So
I think everything is usually vice versa. Like if you chuck that on the end of it, you know, then it's fine. Because I could say like, oh, men are stronger than women.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, but vice versa. Women are a lot stronger at men than a lot of other things.
We're in this day and age of dating where, you know, from what I've seen, obviously because I'm not dating, you're not at the moment, from what I know. Where it seems that, from my experience with my own mates, that men are very like, you know, date multiple women at once. And the women are very like, we can't find any good men. So, it's like this, it's like men are not being raised up in how to treat women properly and how to be a man. Yeah. Because they're just getting soft and sooky. And then the women are trying to find what they want because they can't find it in these men. They want to do it themselves. And that's what turns into this like feminist idea that has everyone, you know, in this stronghold of like, you know, realistically in a day where you might walk into a room of 10 men and 5 of them are gay, the woman she would want to do everything herself. Yeah. Or she would be grasping on to narrow down out of those 5 straight men and be like, which of these men are actually suitable for me? And if there's none, then you'd be like, all right, I'll do it myself. And attractions are different now. There's a lot of toxic and bad traits that a lot of girls find attractive, or you know, it's gross. But a lot of people are attracted to toxic men or toxic women. Yeah. And you're seduced by whatever it is they throw at you. And then you're giving into your deepest, darkest desires and temptations and stuff. But slim pickings now. Slim pickings out there. Yeah. But you know, God will provide. I got one last question for you before we wrap it up. Yeah. Do you think there is redemption for Lucifer? Like a second chance? Yeah, like when all is said and done, obviously we know God's going to win. Hopefully it's like a really cool looking battle. But do you reckon when like Satan's on his knees, you know, God will be like, give him that second chance? If he repents. If he goes through the process of what we have to do as Christians to repent, do you reckon? I think it comes down to whether there's going to be free will in heaven or not. Okay. Because from what I grasp in my mind, heaven is all sunshine and rainbows, no sin, etc. So whether that's I don't think that's going to be no free will. I think it's just going to be purified hearts, like cleansing us fully of sin. We will know no sin, so we won't want to do any sin. Yeah. So if it comes down to that, if he's going to give, you know, Lucifer the chance to purify his heart, then maybe there's a second chance within those years of tribulation, 7 years of tribulation, but if not, the Bible says stuff like, God resists the proud. There's so many things in the Bible where it says he resists the proud. He looks at people, humans that he created, and if they are prideful, he just goes, don't want to go near him.
Yeah.
So, Lucifer's a whole lot worse than just proud.
Yeah.
So I'm sure God would be saying, well away from him.
Interesting.
From what I understand.
Yeah.
But that's not my call to make.
It's not. But it's cool to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. That was it. We finally got to do the episode. Anyways, mate, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for giving us the limes and the it really did get super dark. I thought it was going to be sunset by now.
It's pitch black now.
Yeah. Wow. Lucky I got that massive light though. But yeah, thanks for listening or watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Laters.